Good morning. It's my pleasure to be with you. Thank you, Walter, for the invitation. I have the difficult task to introduce CERN in half an hour in front of a lot of people that know already CERN, but I will cover several things and introduce some topics that will be described later during the day. I cannot start without mentioning the 4 missions of CERN. That 4 missions are the legs of a chair. You cannot remove one if you want to be stable. What is very well known is the frontier of knowledge. It is to understand the elementary particles, the force, all these things. We said push back the frontier of knowledge, the secret of the Big Bang. Okay, main thing that CERN is fundamental research. To do fundamental research, we need to develop new technologies for accelerator detectors, I will say computing, to build that. And this is really something that when we have new ideas, it's giving new ideas to where to look at, and always the physicists are pushing us, I am engineer, as it was said, pushing to develop the technology and try to make possible the impossible. And when we are doing that for the fundamental research, these are our main missions, but also we are developing technologies that you can transfer later to the society. And I will describe very quickly some, especially about medical application, and I will finish with the web was born at CERN. This is very nice, but you cannot do physics, you cannot do technology without what is the main things, the people, the persons. Then I think what is very important is to train scientists, engineers, I will add technicians of tomorrow. This is fundamental to have young generation coming to do physics and technology. And last but not least is unite people from different countries and culture to work together. And this is a 4 mission of CERN. This unite people is just to remember that CERN was founded in 54. We have to not to forget 54 was only 9 years after the Second World War, after all this destruction of Europe. For me, it's always amazing that 12 European states put together to put all the effort to do physics together. And I was always saying science for peace and development. Now CERN has 22 member states. You can see this 22 member states, and obviously Belgium was one of the founders member states of CERN. In terms of few numbers, to say, we are 2,500 staff members, plus on the payroll we have 1,800 personnel, mainly young people, fellows, students, doing some regeneration of CERN, and serving a large community of 13,000 scientific users. And I will show later where they are coming. And all for more or less constant budget in around 1 billion of euro, depending on the chance, 1.15 million of Swiss francs. From the beginning, high energy physics is international. By nature, science has no borders. I like to be in Brussels and to show this famous photo of a Solvay meetings where all these people were meeting together in the Metropole Hotel, not so far from here. I think this is really a good demonstration that physics has no border, no culture. And the different people as Bose and Fermi and so on, that from the beginning people were talking together. But also by necessity to pooling resources to afford large instrument, large accelerator, all the people were working together. And you can see all this success of increasing the energy of accelerator by system development and by breaking some new technology. And I think for me, one of the last very important technology was the superconductivity, allowing for the RF cavity and also the magnet to increase the energy of the things. This is exactly then saying the science is getting more and more global. I think this map is always, for me, amazing to see from where is coming the 13,000 users from CERN. Obviously, a big part is coming from the member state, but you can see the third is coming all around the world, and all the map is already covered, except maybe Africa, where we have certainly to do an effort, and I will finish my talk on that. And you can see the biggest community is coming from US. 2000, after that I think is Italy and so on. Then if you are not to forget that in 54, when the CERN was born, it was to avoid after the Second World War to the brain drain towards the US, all the physics was doing in the US. And now to see, after 64 years, that now the brain drain is the other side, I think is a good example. When Europe want to do something together, we can do this. We can do it. Belgium. We are in Belgium, 162 users and a very large community of staff, 110, and up to now, today, 11 fellows. Okay, this is a map of all the CERN accelerators. I will not have time to describe all these accelerators, but just to demonstrate we are very sustainable at CERN, because CERN was born to build this PS, proton synchrotron, all around 600 meters, put in operation in 59, is still in operation, doing their own physics, but also feeding the LHC. And PS should work at least up to 2040. And it's a good example of building that and to use, after that, all these accelerators in a chain as a SPS, 76, 7 kilometers, use also as their own physics and also feeding LHC as their own physics and also testing some new facilities as OWEC that could be new kind of accelerator principle for the after tomorrow. Okay, I will not go through all the experiments because I will focus more on LHC, but I really want to assist that we have at CERN a diversity program with a long list of experiments. And I'm sure that Gerda will speak about ISOLD and ISOLD. I know also Belgium is very active in NA62, but I have no time to that. I just want to focus on the start, and I will say why, on the LINAC 2. Because LINAC 2 was put in operation 40 years ago. And after 40 years, you can see this is LINAC 2. Still very high reliability. This year we have 99% of reliability. And I have it was difficult for me to switch off this nice accelerator the 12th of November because we had at the end of the life. But this was a difficult moment. But now, obviously, we have a new LINAC, LINAC 4. What is LINAC 4, what we put in operation, 160 MeV. They reached in 2016. We use 17 and 18 to do reliability run, to be able to connect next year and from 2021 to be the LINAC for all the proton CERN. I mentioned that LINAC because I am here in Belgium where MIRA is a project. MIRA will be the first phase of 100 MeV. You can see 160 MeV. And I think for me, this we reached last week 95%. I know MIRA will be the main ingredient, will be the reliability of this injector to have few seconds every 3 months. For me, is amazing, but I think we are ready to collaborate and to help in the kind of thing because really it's a very important and very challenging things. Okay. Come back to LHC. LHC is the flagship program of CERN. What I want to say is that it is a long time adventure. The time constant of physics are large. I think a lot of time larger than the politician life. Because the first idea of LHC was 83. It was 10 years of development R&D to show if you have no showstopper to develop the technology, mainly this big magnet, superconducting magnet to have no showstopper. It was approved in 2 phases by the 94-96 by the CERN Council. After that, it's more or less 10 years of production, declaration of public utility to all the work we have to do, placement of the contract and so on, and start the installation. And after that, before to start the operation is 25 years. Don't forget this time. And after that, we start operation 2010, and operation physics exploitation will go 37 at minimum, maybe up to 2040. Then it's 30 years. You can see this large accelerator like that is 55, 60 years with all the problem of continuity, know-how transfer, and so on, and sustainable finance from the member states. LHC, accelerator of 27 kilometers, located 100 meters below the ground level. I think this is things. And with 4 big experiments. You can see here Atlas, CMS, LHCb, and ALICE. These big experiments are big collaborations with, you can see CMS, I will take CMS, obviously, because Belgium is really invested in CMS with more than 170 institutes, 40 countries, more than the member state, and over 3,000 members working together. CERN is one of the institutes, but only one institute, and is also the host lab, but not financing more than 20% of these experiments. I think for me it's amazing when you see this big detector working, how it's working and so on. You imagine 3,000 members with all the professors of university with their ego working all together. For me it's a fantastic demonstration that what a collaboration can do. And I think this is, for example, an Atlas MS where in competition, but at the end sharing the data, and with the word co-competition is a very important ingredient for physics. LHC, the machine itself, I will not time to describe, but really was all the specification was pushing the state of the art in different domains, mainly about this magnet with 8.3 Tesla, with superconducting magnets, very high things, in superfluid helium 1.9 Kelvin, and with this, you can see the two vacuum chamber, 56 millimeter, where the vacuum is ultra high vacuum, 10⁻13 atmosphere, and with a very high precision of the powering to keep the beam in the middle to avoid any losses. And I will come back to that because for me the two main challenges of the LHC is the managing of the energy. The two energy, first of all, the energy stored in the magnetic system when you are putting the current in all these 1,232 magnets, you are storing an energy of 10 gigajoule. And I like analogies. 10 gigajoule is the kinetic energy of the Airbus S380 at 700 kilometers. Then this you have to imagine when you put current in the machine, you have, if you have any problem losing the grid, losing superconductivity, you have less than 1 minute to land down this Airbus. Then we have less than 1 minute to extract the energy in the safe way of LHC. And I will explain this, why we did the operation instead to that. Second energy is energy stored in the two beams. A beam is a bunch of protons. One bunch is 10 to 11, 100 billion of protons, and we have up to 2,800 bunches in two ways, clockwise and anti-clockwise. Then the number of protons is small in comparison with Avogadro, but at 7 TeV, this stored energy in the beam is 720 megajoule. 720 megajoule, once again, as an analogy, is the energy enough to melt 1 ton of copper. Then you have to imagine when you have the beam in the vacuum chamber, you have to be sure that suddenly the beam is not going through a magnet, through any equipment, because you can melt 1 ton of copper. And this, you have not 1 minute, but you have 88 microseconds, because the beam is at the speed of the light, 11,000 turns per second, and if you have any problem, you have 1 turn to extract 88 microseconds. And as I'm an electrical engineer, if you have dividing the power by the time, you have the energy by the time you have the power is 8 terawatt. 8 terawatt is twice the worldwide electrical capacity installed. Obviously, it's not production because it's only 88 microseconds. But it is in terms of number, it's amazing what we have to do. And this, why I'm insisting on these two slides, because it's explaining what we did from 2010. Then to manage this energy stored in the magnet, we start the LHC at half of the beam energy, that is to say half of the current in the magnet, that is to say a quarter of the stored energy. Then we learn during the run one how to manage 1/4 of the energy stored in the beam. And we start every time when we are putting one bunch, 10 to 9, which is pilot, we cannot damage. And after that, we learn 10 to 11, and we put 3 bunch, 60 bunch, and so on, to learn how to deal with this. Then when you switch off a machine, a lot of time we have questions about journalists, when you put on/off a machine. To re-put a machine on things is taking 4 to 5 months, because we have to be sure we are able to manage this energy, and we are able to manage the stored energy in the beam. This is exactly what I want to say. This is a run one where we run at half of the beam energy, at the beginning 7 TeV and 8 TeV learnings. And I cannot miss here to this date, what is the 4th of July 2012. You can see with a small number of collisions, was we have the Braut-Engler Higgs boson announcement in the CERN amphitheater. You can recognize here Joan Candela. He was the spokesperson of CMS, and Fabiola Gianotti at the time was the spokesperson of Atlas. This, I think, for me is an example then from individual ideas. I think individual ideas. I took these two papers of François Englert and Raoul Braut, and the paper of Peter Higgs, some papers. And after that, you need a collective innovation in detectors, accelerator, and computing to reach these things. I think this is very important, that to design and construct all these things, you need many thousand technician engineers and physicists and so on to work together in a different discipline over the world, different culture. I think this is really what I said, that the number 4 of the mission, work together and unite our force to do these instruments. And I cannot miss this photo. Then the announcement of the Higgs boson in 2012 and the Nobel Prize in 2013. You can see this photo of François Englert and Peter Higgs, the 4th of July 2012 in the CERN amphitheater. Unfortunately, Mr. Braut passed away a few years before. LHC was the run 1. After that, we have the run 2, and I'm very happy to show you this curve of 2018, which was a very important year with a record of number of collisions, 66 inverse femtobarn for these difficult units. But you can see the difference with the run 1, which was at half of the beam energy, 7 and 8 TeV. But this run 2 was a very good thing in 3 years, 16, 17, 18, when we have a lot of data. And I hope now the people from Atlas and CMS will try to find something in this amount of data. This is what we have the timeline, where this is run 1 over 15 to 18. We are here closing almost the machine next week, and we have the last month's iron runs with the lead runs. We will have now at CERN 2 years of shutdown, what's called long shutdown number 2, and we will restart the machine LHC, all the machine injectors, and all the machine in 2021 for 3 years. And our goal for what's called run 3 is to go to 14 TeV, what is the nominal design value of LHC, and to double the number of collisions. And we had 160 inverse femtobarn, the sum of run 1 and run 2, run 2 only, and we expect more than 160, then to double the number of collisions for the physics. After after the run 3, we have a new project, what you call upgrade high luminosity LHC project, is to replace 1.2 kilometers machine around Atlas and CMS to squeeze more the beam and to increase the number of collisions. Then squeezing the bunch, you have a better probability of collisions, and we want to increase all this the number of collisions by a factor 10 in 10 years. And for that, 1.2 kilometers seems small in comparison with 27 kilometers, but there is a 1.2 kilometer on completely new technology in terms of magnet, navion magnet, which is magnet eye things, and all the things. I will not go, but just to say that now we are in full production of this component, and I want to say that this project is a project of close to 1 billion of Swiss francs. And we have, if you want to have this, I put a link where we have all the call for tenders, and for industry, for all the people, we have really a site where we describe all the call for tender we'll get for this. I will speed up. After that, we have operations of machine, we have a project, and we have studies for the future, and we have for the time being 2 studies, global studies, not only CERN, but the global community, that we will put on the table as the next European strategy update. It is a linear collider, which is called CLIC, could be starting with 11 kilometers, 380 GeV, and could be extendable to up to 50 kilometers to 1.5 TeV or 3 TeV. And future secular collider could be with the development of magnet up to 16 Tesla, maybe 20 Tesla, could have, first of all, E plus, E minus, and later proton-proton, and could be a project that we have to do. Then just to come back, if we want to have something running after 2040, as I said, 25 years of development, 2040 minus 25 years, we have to develop now the technology that we will certainly need in the future. And it's very important to work on this study and to develop the technology for at least the accelerator and detectors. To finish, I think CERN particle physics is really an interface between fundamental science and technological development. And we are also doing this transfer of technology, as I said, in the different things. We are looking what to do for all what it is medical application, economy, energy, education. Then really what I put here the site of the knowledge transfer site. And I will take only a few examples. I think Wim will certainly show more what it is accelerator in society. In terms of hadron therapy, when we are from an accelerator, not this one, but we are producing proton or carbon to kill a tumor, and where you need detectors and you need computing. And definitely what we are doing at CERN together in the three pillars, accelerator, detector, and computer, is very important for this application, which is hadron therapy. Also, we have this facility called CERN Medicis, using passively the dump beam from ISOLD. And I think this is a facility at CERN where we are doing this exotic radioisotope. It's not production, it's R&D radioisotope that we are delivering to different institutes and hospitals. And after that, if it is a production, should not be CERN. CERN is just to transfer technology toward medical application, is not to do production. I think maybe Gerda will come back to that. Okay, I think the main thing in terms of knowledge transfer is through procurement, because we had some things, but we are more or less more than close to 500 million of Swiss francs to industry and to services every year, and this also is a good transfer of know-how through contract. And I will come back to finish that what is the industrial returns for Belgium. I think this is for the last from 13 to 18, you have all this contract in terms of supply and things, and you can see a good return from Belgium. But I have no time to describe, I will just use this curves, showing the return of Belgium from 96 to 2017, almost 20 years. You can see that the return of Belgium is pretty high. Well, the target should be 1, that's the same percentage of the contribution with all the contribution in the industrial contract. But in terms of member state, you can see after Switzerland as a local host member state, and France, but it's doing very well. Maybe some decreasing the last year, but I think so, with the HLHC project and so on, I could expect a better return. Okay, to finish, Belgium and CERN. Belgium was one of the CERN founding member states. We had one Director General from Belgium, Leon van Hove, and significant involvement in the CMS experiment at LHE, and Jürgen will speak that after me, and ISOL program, and Gerda will speak about that. And also for the machine, no time, but was a lot of contribution for the contract for the building LHE, and now for the upgrade of LHE. I cannot miss also some photos about the last two visits, because we had the one in 74 of the King of the Belgium. Here in 2009, you can see here in CMS with Walter, in this is the tunnel, and this I had the pleasure to explain the tunnel, and this is a magnet, and you can see Walter pushing me to explain the magnet here to the King. Okay. I think the time is going very quickly. Education is a very important thing. I think Anna Godinho in the room will speak about that in the afternoon. But I want just to say that we have an important program with these CERN teacher schools, having some professors for the secondary school coming at CERN and having a course. I think this is putting some very good seeds for the professor and transferring to the young people. And I think this is a very good thing, because to say we had more than 11,000 teachers coming from all over the world at CERN at least 1 week. And you can see here the Belgium number of professors is 127. I think this we could increase, and I think it's a good motivation from the teacher, and after that to motivate young people to go to technology, physics and technology. I think this is an important program. Finishing, I want to say that CERN in 2012 granted a status of observer at the UN Assembly. I think this is very important in terms of contribution to describe his functioning successful model, providing direct input on science, technology, and education. I think the CERN really, as a representative of science, push work in these sustainable development goals, and especially on the three goals about medical application, education, resilient infrastructure, and sustainable industries, and to work together. And I think this really, CERN is engaged actively to promote the role of science for sustainable development of society, knowledge, technology, innovation. I'd like to show the photos, but I think Herwig will speak more than that. But I like this photo for the last open days in 15, where we have these Pakistani people explaining their work to Indian peoples. And this is the image that I'd like to show, that people working together, explaining in the peaceful way. I will skip, for reason of time, this Sesame, which is a child of CERN, because I know that discussing during the breakfast, Herwig will go in detail of these things, but I think once again this is having these member states, Cyprus, Egypt, Iran, Israel, Jordan, Pakistan, Palestinian Authority, and Turkey working together when they are not so used to work together in a romantic way, I think is a good project. CERN model will be good because I think it's a simple but strong convention, excluding military application. I think for me it's important that it's an organization for a domain, high energy physics, and not for a single project. We have several projects during the 64 years of CERN. And I think for me it's an example of what Europe and its partners can achieve when they are working together. We have no nationality or other quota for employment personnel, no barrier of nationality, age, religion, gender, sex orientation, colors. Really this, and we have international experiment collaboration with CERN is a minority. I think this is a very good thing, that we are CERN building a operate facility, coordinate exploitation. We have the technical competence for the accelerator, but the user coming from university national labs from all around the world. And this is a science-specific competence, it's a global laboratory, and also bringing new blood in the organization. And I think for me, last but not least, open access concept for any field, data, but also technology, open hardware, and ambition to be at the frontier of world excellence in spite of high risk. We have to take a risk, but we have to always to have as a goal to be at the excellence. Then, in conclusion, I will say that CERN is a place where we are doing research, innovate, discover, share, publish, transfer, and bring the world together. And I think for me, when I'm looking this Babel Cafeteria, as I call, I think it's a really mix of all culture and nationality, and I hope it's a taste of world society in the future. I cannot finish with that say that if you want to have more information, you can look at the CERN website, and to say that everybody, I hope, in the room knows that the web was born at CERN. It's not only CERN, but it's good to see that fundamental research can bring a big change in the society. And I like the photo. In this photo, you can see Kofi Annan with Tim Berners-Lee, and Mayani was the director general at the time. But I had a lot of contact with Kofi Annan after that, coming back at CERN to look at which technology we have, we can transfer for this foundation, especially in Africa. And especially he passed away a few months ago. I think he was a great man trying to get every time from science what we can do from science for the development. Okay, I will finish with these two quotes, but I let to you. I think for me, the quote of Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, you can apply to physics if you want to build great accelerator, great things. You have to give the notion of development, and I think our task is to produce future. Thank you very much.